Tony, inside of me are two Wolverines, and they both scored against UConn. That's pretty funny.
That is funny. That is funny.
All right, let's get started with the podcast.
Roll the music.
You want to talk about sports?
Yes, I want to talk about sports.
You want to get a real job? You want to talk about sports?
Sports.
Sports?
Sports.
Sports?
Sports.
All right, sports it is.
Welcome to Tony's Upset, a sports podcast fueled by autism and brotherhood. I'm your host, Tony Cinelli, along with my co-host, Gianni Cinelli. How are you, Gianni?
Tony, I'm really good. I'm excited to be back in the studio. We got to record some content. It's been a really exciting time with all this March Madness. We've been posting a bunch on TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. We've got a lot of people that are watching that content, usually about 700 to 1,000 people per thing. So I think that's a huge deal, right?
Right.
That's been super exciting. The podcast is still going strong. We're well over 2,200 listens these days. I mean, things are really on the up and up. But Tony, what do you want to talk about today?
Yeah, let's talk about Michigan winning it all.
Go ahead.
Yeah, you know.
I want to see how many people thought Michigan would win it all.
You know, Connecticut was such a hard team for me to put my finger on. They started off really good. They started off undefeated, and they went on a little bit of slump during the mid-season. Then they got back together, started getting back on the wall, and then during the Big East tournament, they got swept by St. John's. I think they lost twice to St. John's this year. St. John's had an incredible year. And then in the NCAA tournament, I just didn't know how they would have had not been they went on another slump. I had them losing to Foreman.
Okay.
And then they won the second round, and then they beat Michigan State. I had them beating Michigan State. And then against Duke, they were down 19. And I had Duke winning that game. And then I watched that game and was like, oh good, Duke's winning. And then they just made a big comeback.
Yeah.
And I saw that final shot. I flipped out. Like, my mom and dad had to come in and like, are you okay? I was like, you gotta see this shot.
Are you talking about when Boozer went and threw the ball and it got blocked and then they stole it and then they shot it and then they beat?
Yeah, no, two players double teamed him. They tipped him. He should have never.
I was gonna haunt him.
Yes.
I mean, he'll be making a ton of money in the NBA soon.
Oh, absolutely. But I think he won Player of the Year or won an AP.
I mean, just looking at this game, the UConn players really just didn't show up.
No, and that was what I was worried about.
Alex Carabon went 3 for 10 from 3 and 5 for 14 overall. Terrace Reed went 4 for 12. Solo Ball went 4 for 10. Braylon Mullins kept pulling up. He was 4 for 17 on the night. I mean,
yeah, and
some terrible shooting numbers.
Yes.
And
I thought the experience would help them win this game, but
yeah, I mean, Yaxel Lindenberg didn't have the best game.
No,
either.
and he also got injured in the game in the Final Four against Arizona.
That might be why.
Yes, so I was a little bit worried about that.
What's interesting is he went 4 for 13, but the rest of the team actually had a good shooting night. Morez Johnson, 5 for 7. It was Ade Mara.
Yep.
4 for 7. Elliot Cadu, 5 for 11.
And he was the most outstanding player.
I mean,
MVP.
Really good shooting numbers. 8 for 9 on free throws. That kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
It was a really good, well played game by Michigan. Do you think Michigan deserves to win it in the end?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, the Big Ten is just doing really well. Indiana won the football national championship. UCLA women's basketball won. And now Michigan. Okay.
Well, Tony, I think that was a really fun March Madness. My bracket did terrible.
I did more terrible, but
well, my bracket was based on your bracket because I called you and you did my bracket for me. But yeah, you know what? The bright side, you can't get any more predictions wrong in this tournament because the tournament's over.
Yes.
All right. Well, shout out to Michigan. They earned it. All right, Tony. What else do you want to talk about today?
Let's do UFC 327.
A little UFC.
Miami.
Were there any big fights that we missed in the weeks that we haven't been able to podcast? Anything that's happened recently that's like, oh, this is big news before we get to UFC 327?
So the co-main event of this one was supposed to be a flyweight bout.
Okay.
But that got pulled to the next pay-per-view because apparently the flyweight champion had a little bit of an injury.
Okay.
That is
Oh, was it the Joshua Vaughn versus
Joshua Van.
Tatsuro Taira?
Yes. Oh, you got Tatsuro right.
I tried.
Vaughn. Van.
Okay, you never know. So, where do you want to start? You want to start top of the card, bottom of the card, featherweight? You want to start main event? I always like to kind of start at the bottom. So we got what? Cub Swanson versus Nate Landwehr.
Yeah.
Land Rover.
Yeah, so this is the opening main card. Cub Swanson is making his retirement fight. Now, he's been in there for a long time.
He's 30 in 14. He has 44 fights. That's insane.
Well, there's more fighters. So look at next UFC 328 and look at the opening card and the records.
Okay, you tell me about what's it called in the meantime.
Yeah, but no, UFC 328. Okay, so Cub Swanson.
Oh, King Green?
Yeah.
And Jeremy Stevens. Sheesh.
Yes.
Okay.
Damn, I'm losing my train of thought.
327. You're talking about
Cub Swanson, Nate Landwehr.
Is his name really Cub?
Yes.
Is he American?
Yes.
Where's he from? Go ahead.
California.
Checks out. Okay. Go ahead. Cub Swanson.
Okay.
You're not
he's the
naming
longest time in UFC. He's part of a big organization called WEC. Then UFC bought him out. He's the last of the WEC. He's been in the top 10 of the featherweight division, but then he fought out. He's fought some big names. He's fought Max Holloway, but he's been close to a championship, but not that close.
Okay.
Let me go to ESPN first. Look up. No, he never fought for a title. Okay.
So he didn't fight for a title?
No.
Okay.
But Landwehr's on a 2-fight losing streak. I like how...
Landwehr?
Yes.
Okay.
Nate Landwehr. Swanson says this is a retirement fight. You know, actually the last two fighters who have retired have actually won the retirement fight. But I think Nate Landwehr is going to win this one by a TKO in the third round.
Okay. And I want to clarify my comment. I think someone would have the nickname Cub in pretty much any part of America. But the legal first name Cub is not something you'd see in North Carolina. You're not going to have Cub. You might have Bubba. You might have Bo. But you're not going to have Cub.
What about King?
Maybe.
If your nickname was King, can you change your name to King?
Like legally as an adult?
Yes.
That'll be fine. Like, I'm saying what your parents named you. If your parents said, I'm going to put on the birth certificate that your name is Cub. It's like naming someone Scooter and then they're like 95. All right, let's talk Dominic Reyes versus Johnny Walker.
Oh, hey. Yeah, this is unfortunate. I kind of like feel bad for Dominic Reyes because he fought actually the people who were in the main event, and he was one step closer if he would have had won his last fight against one of the guys in this main event. In Carlos Ulberg, he would have been in this spot. So I think that the UFC is kind of doing him dirty, but he's taking on Johnny Walker. Both of these guys don't have chins. They can get knocked out anyway. I think there's going to be a finish in this fight. They might go to war in this fight, and I trust Johnny Walker's chin over Dominic Reyes' chin.
I thought Johnny Walker was like a bourbon.
Yeah, he's also a fighter, but he was also a
No,
football
I'm just being
player.
funny because you're saying chin and it sounds like gin. Johnny Walker, drink, question mark? You know, I said drink with an F. Well, okay, it's a Scotch whiskey, my bad. It's from America, isn't it? No, it's from Scotland. Never mind. All right, we're good. It can be called a Scotch. All right, so Johnny Walker, you're thinking taking that one?
Yes.
Okay. Let's talk Curtis Blades.
Yes, Curtis Blades.
Beyblade, okay.
Versus Josh Hokett. Hokett, yeah.
Josh Hokett only has 8 fights.
Yeah, well,
He's a big boy.
Yes, yeah.
Oh, this is a big, it's the heavyweight division, that's why.
Yeah. So this is, can a very good, and like Curtis Blades, he's 35, He's been at this heavyweight division, the top of this heavyweight division, for a while now. He's fought for an interim title, but is he still there? And they're trying to push this newcomer, Josh Hogan, and what's that word? Prospect versus
a veteran,
but is he ready for this
opportunity?
For this big fight. Thank you.
Let's step up.
Yeah, step up.
Is he ready for the step up? Yeah. So I guess my question number one is this a title fight?
No.
No, Curtis is just near the top.
Yes.
Okay. But like if Curtis just like shows out, he could maybe get a title fight.
There's also a big fight in the next card.
Okay.
At UFC 328, but the heavyweight, they don't have exciting fighters, so the UFC's trying to push this guy and try to see if he can become something. He's also really conversational on the mic. Mm-hmm. It was funny. Just a side note. Last week's main event was a fight night between Renato Moicano versus this guy, and Moicano won, and he went on the mic and started saying some outrageous things and stuff. And I was watching it, and Mom came in, and she's like, this guy's not nice. He's so mean and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, it's just a show.
Yeah.
He's on the mic, they'll say, this guy Hogan puts on a show and stuff.
I think that's part of the thing where it's like if you want longevity in the UFC, you have to be an entertainer.
Yes.
Because at the end of the day, like, it's a product, and even if you fight, like, unless you're just like an insanely good fighter, but even there's winning, and then there's winning attractive. So if you can win every single one of your fights, but it's boring, they don't want you in the UFC. If you can win all of your fights in the UFC, and you're a great fighter, you're pretty well liked. If you can win all your fights, and you're a great fighter, and you have something they can market, like a personality or a brand, that's the trifecta,
Yep. I'm picking Blades to win this one.
Okay.
By decision.
How about this next one with
Asad Murkanov.
Asmat Markanov, okay. Against Paulo Costa.
Yeah,
what do we got? I don't want to.
We have
Russian. I knew it. Russian versus Brazilian. Yeah.
Yes.
Paulo Costa. Yeah.
Yeah. This could be seen as a title eliminator.
Okay.
Costa's moving up a division.
Yeah.
Asad is undefeated. I think all of his wins are by knockout.
Ooh.
Pretty sure. Mostly.
So he's a good fighter then.
Yes.
This isn't just like a chump fight.
Well, he's been in the UFC for a while, but he's only had one or two fights. He gets injured. Like last year, he had 2 fights in the UFC, and that was like his longest of 8 years. Mm-hmm. He could have been a championship, but he's been injured a lot. But
okay, who are you taking in this fight?
This is a really hard one. This Costa's been to the top 2. Let's go with Azat.
Okay. Tony, what do we got here?
Yeah, we got Yuri Procházka versus Carlos Ulberg. Okay. Now, Procházka, he's been a championship, but this is his 3rd crack at it.
Because he lost to Pereira twice?
No, this is his 4th crack at it, thank you. Sorry. Just he's fought Grover and then lost to Pereira twice. And yep, this is his 4th crack, trying to become a 2-time division champion. This is Carlos Ulberg, who's been on a 9-fight winning streak. He is a little bit older, but he's been part of a great team that produced Israel Adesanya and Alexander Volkanovski. But
you got a striker versus a kickboxer.
Yes, yeah. I'm gonna pick. I think Palazzo breaks him down by the 5th round. This Yuri Procházka is a wild man. He makes things. It might be 2-2. And if you saw his last fight, he was down 2 rounds in a 3-round fight. This one's a 5-round fight. And he came back to knock out his last opponent.
Okay.
So I think it'll be 2-2 going in to the 5th round. And he just goes wild. He's been in this situation before. Actually, the first time he also won it, just the title. He was down 3-1, and he found a submission with under a minute left. Procházka by knockout in the 5th round.
Okay. And this is the title fight?
Yes.
All right, Tony, before we wrap up, I told you could speak a little bit about the New York Yankees. First, I want to just shout out the fact that Juan Soto got injured. As sports fans, you never want to see someone get injured. We have a weird feeling about Juan Soto because he was with the Yankees. We loved him.
Yeah,
and then
helped us lead us to a World Series.
Yep. And then basically, I'm pretty sure the Mets were like, hey, here's a bunch of money. And the Yankees were like, here's a bunch of money for you to stay. And he still went with the Mets. Let's see.
No, don't look at it. We have time to start.
Okay, go ahead.
No, I need to go back to ESPN and look at the Yankees thing.
Okay.
I think it was 7-2. Oh, you could just go to that one.
I'm
go
going
to MLB. MLB standings. Twenty a monkey.
Okay.
We're 7-2, right?
We're 7-2 as of recording. There's games tonight. You said
yes,
that, right?
The Yankees are playing tonight. Yeah, we're looking really good.
They're on a 1-game losing streak.
Yeah, we just lost. Our pitching staff has been really good. 8 out of the 9 games. Our starting pitcher staff has given up under 3 runs. And that's with not even our best 2 aces in Garrett Cole and Carlos Rodon. Go to Yankees and you look at the stat. Rodon could be coming back. And sooner the same by the end of this month.
Okay.
And then Cole to maybe end of May.
Okay.
Some of the Yankees are doing well. Aaron Judge has 3 home runs. Giancarlo Stanton is leading with batting average with 394, which is weird. I thought Ben Rice was. Can you go to his average?
Ben Rice?
Yes.
He's got...
Oh, he's hitting 370. He must have not had a good game last time. But went it down to 370. Because he was hitting over 400.
Ben Rice also has 3 home runs and 11 RBIs.
And he's leading the way with
OBS.
home runs. Yep.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, so the Yankees are doing good. They're off to a great start.
Yes.
Are you hoping to see them back in the World Series mix this year?
Absolutely.
You think they have the tools for that?
Yeah.
All right, well, we'll keep an eye on them. Thank you, everyone, for listening to Tony's Upset, a sports podcast fueled by autism and brotherhood. Goodbye, all. All right, cool. Great job.